of this time, of this isolation time as possible. Now, as we have not been meeting for, for over a month now, maybe that you would have been disconnected with the things that we have discussed inside the class. I feel that our today's topic is discussing the past perfect tense. As we have discussed in the class, we have already discussed in class about the prerogatives of tenses in our English language. Past perfect tense, in particular, has a special class in the family of tenses. First, I would like to explain in English, then I'll explain it in Hindi. We usually confuse past perfect tense with past indefinite tense. And we may be confused. We may be having confusions regarding this. But first, I explain what actually past perfect tense indicates. Past perfect tense is used basically to explain two actions in the past. Two actions. To explain two actions in the past. One taking place before, another taking place after it. So here, past perfect tense works in association with the past indefinite tense. That one action, it means one action takes place before another action in the past. Like you can just have an example. You didn't read the book. You failed in answering the questions. Now you say, I would have answered the question. So as an example of the past perfect tense, it is very simple. Let's take an example. You read the book, you answer the questions. So when you have to say, you say, I had read the book before I answered the questions. I had read the book before I answered the questions. Another example, very simple example that we have been giving. The train had departed before I reached the station. You reached the station, the train had departed. The train departed before you reached the station. This is the meaning. हिंदी में युग है पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस तभी यूज करते हैं जब पास्ट के दो एक्शंस को शो करना हमारा पर्पस होता है. एक पहले, दूसरा बाद. मैं वहां गया लेकिन लोग जा चुके थे. How to translate it to English? I reached there, but people had gone. Or you may say, I reached there after people had gone. Or you can again say, people had gone before I reached there. तो याद रखें, ये सिंपल पास्ट नहीं है, ये दो पास्ट का एसोसिएशन है, एक पहले और एक बाद में. Number 2, you can use this when you have to account for a previous action. When you have to account for a previous action from a point of time in the past. From a point of time in the past. मतलब अगर आपको किसी पास्ट के पर्टिकुलर टाइम से किसी प्रीवियस एक्शन को मेजर करना हो, उसके पहले किसी एक्शन को मेजर करना हो, तो आप इस टेस्ट को यूज कर सकते हैं. Like example, I met him yesterday. I met him in Delhi yesterday. I met him in Delhi yesterday. I had already informed him of my arrival there. I had already informed him of my arrival there. Now, had already. Already means a previous time in the past. A previous time from which you measured. I met him. This is the time from which you are measuring. And ये टाइम, इस टाइम से आप मेजर कर रहे हैं, और कौन सा टाइम? I had already met him. I had already informed him. Sorry, I had already informed him of my arrival there. You can use this tense also with the temporals or frequencies, rather more to say frequencies, adverbs of frequencies like always, never, sometimes, often. You can use without any past indefinite tense. Like I had already invited him for my wedding dinner. He had never met me before. I had given him this book a week before. A week before. Earlier, you could also say. And definitely, these are the places you can use this tense as the second fitting. There is another place where you could use this past indefinite tense, especially for suppositional, काल्पनिक statements, like we discussed in optative sentence. इसलिए आप यूज कर सकते हैं. You can say, काश कि मैं उनको जानता होता तो मैंने उनकी मदद की होती. If I had known him, I would have helped him. Had I known him, I would have helped him. Had I known him, I would have helped him. Or if I had known him, I would have helped him. Had known him. So in suppositional cases, you could use this tense. So this is the third. ये तीसरा जगह है जहां आप यूज कर सकते हैं काल्पनिक परिवेशों में. इनका परिवेशों में आप इनका यूज कर सकते हैं. जैसे सेंटेंस हिंदी में हम लेते हैं, अगर मैं वहां गया होता तो उनसे मिला होता. If I had gone there, I would have met him. Had I gone there, I would have met him. There is a fourth place where you could use this tense as well. And that fourth place is the place that indicates the verbs that had some hopeful aspect, hopefulness in their thinking. Like the verbs, you could say hope, imagine, intend, hope, imagine, expect, intend, mean, suppose, think, want. These are the verbs with which you could use the past perfect tense. Like you can say, इन verbs के साथ आप past perfect tense का use कर सकते हैं. Just like you would say, I had hoped to see him successful, but I couldn't. I have thought to see him rich, but he didn't do anything in that perspective. So there also you could use this tense. So in a nutshell, you could say that we could use this tense in four references. Under four references, number one, for showing two actions in the past, one before, another after. दो past के action को दिखाने के लिए, एक पहले और एक बाद में. दूसरा, किसी previous action को past के किसी time से measure करने के लिए. हमने एक एग्जाम्पल दिया, I met him yesterday. I had already informed him of my arrival there. So I had already informed him. I met him. Past का time है, measure जिससे कर रहे हैं, I met him. And previous action, I had already informed him regarding of my arrival there. Third point, आप तीसरी जगह यूज कर सकते हैं जहाँ पे काल्पनिक कोई बात आप कहना चाहते हैं. सपोजिशनल स्टेटमेंट्स के केस में आप कह सकते हैं इसको, जिसमें आप कोई भी एक इमेजिनरी आइडिया को, एनी इमेजिनरी आइडिया कुड बी टेकन इन अकाउंट. लाइक if I had labored, I would have passed. If she had come to meet me, I would have helped her. इस तरीके से आप इसको यूज कर सकते हैं. और चौथा, ये कुछ वर्ब हमने दिए हैं, लिस्ट दिए हैं. लिस्ट एक बार फिर से हम रिपीट कर दे रहे हैं. एक्सपेक्ट, होप, इमेजिन, इंटेंड. एक्सपेक्ट मतलब उम्मीद करना, होप मतलब उम्मीद करना, इमेजिन मतलब कल्पना करना, इंटेंड मतलब इरादा करना, सोचना, मीन मतलब आशय होना, अर्थ होना, अर्थ बताना, सपोज का मतलब मान लेना, थिंक का मतलब सोचना, want का मतलब चाहना. Like I had always wanted to be rich. That much is enough. So therefore इन सारी जगहों पे आप इस टेंस का यूज कर सकते हैं. अब एक बात रही जो हमने पहले बताया था, which I had already told you, कि कंफ्यूजन होता है. कंफ्यूजन यहाँ होता है when to use past indefinite, when to use past perfect. Past perfect tense, जैसा हमने बताया आपको, as I told you, has always two actions in the past. One in association with another. So you can say like a general statement, the thieves had run away before the police. पुलिस आई लेकिन चोर भाग चुके. But past indefinite tense cannot be used like this. You can't say he had come here yesterday. This is not right. Because past indefinite we use only to indicate an action in the past without making any of its references in the present time or with the present time. It has no association. None of its association could be seen with another action in the past. वह कल यहाँ आया था. He came here yesterday, not he had come here yesterday. Though in general it is these types of sentences are spoken informally, but grammatically, according to the British outfits of grammar, this is not easily accepted. And as regards common errors or sentence improvement in our competitive exams, it is you are going to be taxed very heavily if you just make these type of sentences. अगर आप सेंटेंस बनाते हैं तो आपको बहुत ज़्यादा इसका कीमत चुकाना पड़ेगा. Definitely this is going to be like this. तो ये तो हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया. अब आपको इसको एक्सरसाइज फॉर एक्सरसाइजेस ऑन दिस यू कुड कंसल्ट द बुक रेमंड मर्फी एक्सरसाइज व्हाटएवर मे बी द एक्सरसाइज पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस. आप उसको बनाइए, उसमें से प्रॉब्लम्स होंगे वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे एक करके. आप उसको बना के जो पूछना होगा आप अपने क्वेश्चंस अपलोड करेंगे, हम उनका आंसर करेंगे. As regards words of today, I'd like to give you a few words. 10 words I'd like to give you. The words are, number 1, as I have been giving you the words every day, the words of today are, number 1, cryptic. Cryptic, C-R-Y-P-T-I-C. C-R-Y-P-T-I-C, cryptic. Number 2, debilitate. Debilitate, D-E-B-I-L-I-T-A-T-E, debilitate. Another word is emasculate. Emasculate, E-M-A-S-C-U-L-A-T-E, emasculate. Again, E-M-A-S-C-U-L-A-T-E, emasculate. Another word is feudal. Feudal, F-E-U-D-A-L. F-E-U-D-A-L, feudal. So boys and girls, this is all for today. We'll be meeting in the next session. Till then, goodbye, and try to go through this lecture, and if you have any problems you may write to me, intimate me. I'll just give the answers of all the problems, every problem that you have had with you, and try to be precisely connected with the rules that will make it easy for you to face your upcoming exams or coming exams. Thank you.